Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and notifications button for all the good stuff we've got coming.
I came to the Detroit Repertory Theater in 1982. I had just left radio. I was working as a disc jockey on WJLB radio in Detroit. And I wanted to go from radio, being heard and not seen, to the craft where, you're seen and heard. But I really just wanted to do commercials, radio and television commercials. And I got into it, got an agent, and found out, I was good at ripping and reading, but not so much at acting out a commercial as a character. So I wanted to learn the craft, the acting profession. So I went to the rep for that purpose. They were probably more accessible than other theater groups. And so I ended up there after my research. And, there was an audition I came to right off the bat, and I was shaking in the theater. I was visibly, to me, shaking. So I thought, well, maybe it's because it's cold in here. I was looking around. No one else looked like they were shaking. Everybody looked like consummate professionals. Like, man, these people look like they can really act. And a lot of them really could. But some of them couldn't. So I felt like, okay, there are other neophytes in the room. I'm not the only brand new actor here. And but halfway through, it was so many good ones. I felt like I should not. I don't belong in this room. And halfway through, at some point, I left, and I had my hand on the car door. I was getting ready to leave, and I imagined my then wife saying, "Oh, why are you home so early?" And I didn't know what I was going to say to explain that. I had never been a quitter. So that convinced me to go back in because I didn't want to face answering that question. So I went back in, tried out, and actually got the part. Now, luckily for me, it was a children's play because they were celebrating their 25th anniversary. Two Pieces of Silver was the play, I believe, and I was in the play. I think it was called The Fisherman and His Wife, with Mac Palmer, and me, Barbara Busby, and Darius Dudley were fish under the fisherman's wharf. And so since it was, childlike and all that, and I played a fish, I believe I was Flop. It was Flip, Flop, and Wiggles. I think I was Flop. And that was a good one for me to cut my teeth on because it wasn't a serious character. I could play a fish. I love my costume, my fishy costume, and I just got into it. But I still think, I probably wasn't the best choice. So I asked Bruce Milan later, why did he choose me? And he just said, well, you had something. So I accepted that. That was better than not having something. And so anyway, that's how I got started at the Detroit Rep. Kind of almost by fluke. I stayed on, and because I had a radio background, I became their sound designer for a short period of time. I acted in just a handful of plays, and in 1988, they asked me to direct. And I had never really thought of directing, but I had said to myself, if I was to ever direct, I would make sure this happened and that happened and la, la, la. So when they said it, I accepted the challenge, thought it would be fun. And it was so much fun, I don't even really care to act anymore, even though I love acting. But I much more prefer directing. You know, I directed my first play was The Color Museum. That was just a wonderful opportunity. To me, one of the greatest scripts, certainly one of the greatest scripts written in the '80s by George C. Wolfe. And uh, so the play was so wonderful. I thought I was great because it became quite acclaimed and sold out for however many weeks they ran plays at that time, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever it was. And so I thought I was so great. And then the next play I accepted, and it was a more challenging play. The script wasn't as well written and that sort of thing. I can't even recall the name of the show. And I quickly found out, okay, it wasn't just me. It was the writing, it was the actors. I guided the actors, but you need good actors to make a production special. So then, luckily for me, my third opportunity was Fences. And with Fences, August Wilson's Fences, I took that very seriously. I got out of my own head space and really tackled that show. One of my favorite memories of that show was how Council Cargill, the great Council Cargill, and I was so happy to have that opportunity to work with him. Council came to me and said he didn't want to play it so forceful. And without giving away the show that everybody should have seen in some form on Broadway, with James Earl Jones, with Denzel, and Viola Davis, or the film by now with Denzel and Viola Davis. But I still wouldn't want to give away a plot. But I think it's safe to say when the father, Troy Maxson, the Denzel, the James Earl Jones, the Council Cargill, Troy Maxson, when he was talking to his son in the yard as they were building the fence, and he was trying to talk him into, maintaining his job and not playing sports because sports, wasn't right by him when he played Negro League baseball and all of that. And, I was guiding Council to play it so strong based on my own experience with my father, who I related to Troy Maxson. They were from that same school, that same generation, that same flavor, just tough love. You got to raise a boy to be a man, and you do it with toughness. And Council came to me and said, I think I'm playing them too strong. I said, no, not at all, Council. No, I think I'm playing them too strong. The audience is going to hate me. So I said, no, man, they're going to love you because they're going to understand why you're saying what you're saying. And so, to his credit, he probably didn't even agree with me, but he went all the way in, and the audiences ate him up like vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream. They loved him, of course. He was Council Cargill, and he did do a great job, way beyond what I ever asked him to do, whatever I ever directed him to do. That was just the beauty of working with such great actors, him, Jennifer Jones, Tim Rose, Alan Sheffield, Michael J. It was just Tony Lucas, an incredible cast, and all the different young ladies I had play Roy Nell. Just an incredible cast and an incredible experience, and that really set me on my way to have two great shows in my first three, The Color Museum and Fences, is just something I can never thank the Detroit Repertory Theater enough for putting me in that position to learn the craft with some of the greatest writing that could have ever been offered to me. So I'm eternally grateful to the Detroit Repertory Theater for giving me the opportunity to learn the whole craft of theater. They gave me an opportunity to be the lighting designer, like I said, for a few seasons. I was marketing director for 3 years. I did my first play there. Upon their request, I don't know why they asked me. I don't know what made them think I could direct because I had never done it, and I just got blessed there. Mom's Mabley is a piece that they asked me to do. Well, they didn't ask me specifically to do that, but they asked me, they offered me an opportunity for us to do a co-venture. And given our history, long history at that point, in 1990, 99, 90, I don't know, 90 maybe, 89. And I could be wrong. It could be 99. I'm not sure right now. But I had the Mom's Mabley piece, Mom's Mabley, The Naked Truth. I'd only had 9 pages of that piece, the end of June, the end of the season. And again, Bruce challenged me to do it preseason in September. And I said, no, sure, I could do that. And so I finished the writing. Actually, I was writing as we were rehearsing. I do not recommend that. I didn't recommend it at the time, but I accepted the challenge, and it was the hardest I ever worked in my life. But it was the most fun I probably ever had, or some of the most fun. I had a lot of fun in a lot of plays and a lot of productions, but that one was probably the most challenging because I was writing the script as we were rehearsing. And luckily, Linda Boston was gracious enough to put up with that, and it turned out to be pretty good, pretty good. So they just kept affording me opportunities, and you don't get that opportunity everywhere you go. And I just happened to be somebody who enjoyed being out front, uh, and being behind the scenes. I remember me and Kenny Hewitt, uh, Detroit rep patrons from years back, who remember Kenny because he did the lighting. He worked behind the bar. Bruce didn't. I don't know if back then he didn't let anybody else behind the bar. Maybe Robert Williams, but Kenny served drinks for a while, and me and Kenny, and I think Kenny took over from Mary Lynn Kaser. She was the lighting person, and then Kenny took over from her, and and we used to spend the night there working. He's doing the lights, I'm doing the sound, and I mean we pulled a lot of all nighters just to get that thing right, and so opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. I mean, I was still in my late 20s when I came to the rep, and I'm an old man now, so it was really really a great opportunity. It was my second career, and I'm just so grateful that they set me on the path for everything that I accomplished in this field. And I never I'll never forget that.